Invest your energy in toxic people or invest energy into you who you are? Well, this question may be a good one, but depending on situations, some people may not afford to simply invest in themselves because they're surrounded by too many toxic people. However, well, you see, toxic people need to learn that there has always to be a barrier, right? Because toxic people are people who never have been taught that there are boundaries. When you don't have boundaries, well, they are easily invited into your life. When you are in ignorance, you're a sponge of other people's energies. But absorbing other people's energies never happens without you giving them your energy, right? Because this is something that well, in a way, I call it the law of the 100%. Because you can always be 100%, you can't be more than just that, right? Physically speaking, you can't put more into a certain device, you can't put more liquid or something. You can call yourself, an energy source, and energy sources, they have 100% and then they deplete slowly. You can recharge them. Typically, they never recharge fully 100%. It's gonna be somewhere 99.9999% or something like that. But the point is, it kind of doesn't matter in this case. Let's say you always recharge 100%. The point is, you can only gain more energy if you simply put out energy, right? Energy of you is always depleting, and you're always getting in energy from the environment that you are in. In an environment of toxic people, obviously you'll be getting toxic energy, and that's one of the reasons why you will be feeling down. You'll always feel down when you're surrounded by idiots, and you'll always feel down when you're surrounded by ignorant people, because ignorant people invest in their misery, and they invest so much that they need energy from others to keep investing in their own misery. Because not only do they invest in their misery, they become comfortable with that. They feel as if they no longer invest in their misery, well, that's a big problem, because if they no longer invest in their misery, it will go. And well, it will feel as if their whole world will crumble. Now, the funny thing is, why would you simply think that a mental creation is crumbling, right? Because ultimately, what you create is just pure imagination, and you're investing into it more and more. Like, isn't that dummy? I mean, when you create all sorts of ideas in your life, it's like you're creating walls. It's like you're creating different ideas, right? Something may crash. You always expect something bad to happen. You expect this, you expect that, you expect someone to cry, you expect getting hurt, you expect getting killed, you expect everything that can be possibly wrong, right? Or everything that can be possibly bad. Now, if we are to think a bit about this, there is another aspect, okay? There is another aspect to this. When you create these things in your minds and you give so much energy, so much support to them, it's like you're technically also trying to support the existence of these walls that you create in your mind. Technically, it's like you want to be a better god, right? I mean, you can't deny the fact that this universe has been created. We exist in it. We obviously are in it, more or less. But the point is, this universe exists, right? It is stable. It has an intelligence of its own. The walls that you keep investing in, they don't have any intelligence of their own, because, well, you only create some images and some sounds because you have some stupid expectations that you are programmed to have, right? Narcissistic people will always teach you to give and, well, never to receive, because receiving, if you receive something, they didn't receive it and they don't like it, right? So even religion feels narcissistic, because give all your riches to gods, live in poverty, die in poverty, and, well, you'll get all the riches in heaven, right? But also they teach you that you're gonna be a spirit, right? Your soul leaves the body and will join hell or heaven. But irrespective of which of those it will join, your spirit is a ghost. It can't touch physical things. So why do you think, or how do you think, it will enjoy all the so-called riches in heaven, right? You just need to die a painful life, you just need to die in a miserable life, and you will experience hell afterwards, because you're not gonna go in a place where demons will torture you. You're just gonna experience hell. Because when you feel blissful, when you feel happy, right, it's like you're experiencing a sort of heaven. You're not there, though, just like religion says that you're gonna go into a so-called geographical heaven. When you are angry, when you are mad and such, it's like you're experiencing some hell, right? But the simple point is you're not in a geographical hell, right? You're in a psychological one. So if we think about this, the very simple point is investing in toxic people won't simply change much, because you've been investing in those toxic people. And ask yourself one thing: is your life better? Has your life gone better, or has it gone for the worse? Now you might say, well, at least you're comfortable. Well, just because you have a roof over your head, well, it may mean that you're comfortable, but being traumatized constantly by stupid people who don't care about you, well, that's not gonna ever make your life better. Is it your comfort zone? Well, that's the biggest problem, because it's, comfort is your prison. Now the problem is this: you've been living with those people and they've been making your life ass for the whole time. Do you think they're gonna suddenly miraculously change? Well, it would be silly to think that, right? They haven't changed in 10 years, right? Just like the sick society they live in, right? You've been taught in this sick society all the things in reverse, right? You've been taught everything in this world in a sick way. And we live in a sick society. If you take a careful look around, you will see that so many people are simply sick. You will see that we live in a sick society. So the question is, do you think this sick society, who has been lying to you ever since you were born, do you think this sick society will instantly cure itself and suddenly will care for you? I mean, let's be serious. You've been taught wrong just so that you can be easily confused and therefore ruled, because when you have a lack of direction, someone else will come in and say, oh look, this is the direction that I want for you. It's not necessarily the best one for you, but it's definitely the best one for me. So in this sick society where no one cares for you and you are expected to invest in other people, right? Not in you, because it's bad if you invest in you, because you suddenly get in touch with your intuition, you suddenly get in touch with different dimensions of who you are, and well, you're gonna become dangerous. If you start thinking for yourself, well, ignorant people will start dragging you down, right? Haven't you noticed? Every time you want to do something for yourself, the other people around you, maybe even family, they just, no, don't do it, it's like they're afraid that they will theoretically lose you, but they already lost you because they never cared for you, right? I always said, as a parent, you have one simple quest: either turn your child into someone who will love you and support you late game, right, when you're old and you can no longer handle yourself, or you simply make an enemy out of your child who will simply leave you the first time, or the moment they have the possibility. Because if you constantly ignore your child's needs, well, you will make nothing else but a greater monster than you, or whatever, a greater ignorant than you. But we know ignorance will become nothing else but monsters ultimately. So the simple point is this: if you simply keep ignoring people, they will think that barricading themselves will be their salvation, right? Because they think that they are safe. Barricading yourself won't do anything. It will make you miserable, because if you barricade yourself, you're gonna stay alone. If you stay alone, well, you're entombing yourself in your own psychological misery. But you think that you are safe because, there is no other human. But in this safety that you think you have, are you blissful? Are you happy? Or are you simply miserable? Because if you're miserable and there's toxic people around, well, it's high time you ask yourself, are you actually partaking in your misery? Are you actually taking part in designing your misery, or at least preserving it? Because you don't need to design any misery. There will always be people who will do that for free for you, right? In this sick society, you don't have to invest in your own misery, because every sick person who feels alone, they haven't spoken to other people. They will literally come to you and simply spread all their shit in your life, right? They will easily come in and complain and say and speak about all their problems, and most likely expect that you solve them. Or, well, the problem is, if you keep listening to them, energy is contagious. Now their problems are partly your problems as well. So hopefully this video kind of raised a bit of awareness, in the sense that it is better to invest, depending on how the world is. Better invest in you, financially, emotionally, psychologically, right? There are ways through which you can do that. I've spoken about this in probably some other videos. There are other people who speak about this. All this being said, have fun, enjoy life. Ferenjan Power signing out.